then he works at the grocery store. Saving.
I was excited about that one.
Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Anthony's song. You know what it's called?
Moving out.
Moving out. Yeah, that's right.
I like the bass line in that.
So good.
So good. I've been listening to that song all week.
So good.
And then it goes to the halftime. I sing such a way.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
It's hard to beat Billy Joel, man. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Great Measures. My name is Richard. This is Judson.
Sorry, I'm so happy from that. Moving out. Great Measures.
We got a new Opeth song recently.
Who does?
Opeth gave us a new song.
The World. I stumped you on that a little bit.
Yeah.
The World.
The song is called, I'm going to call it Section 1. There's a symbol for, I'll show you. This symbol right here.
Okay.
I think I did some research and that symbol means section, from what I understand. I could be wrong, but that's what the internet tells me.
Is it legalese? Is it a legal thing? Is it a legal
Yeah, it's in reference to legal documents usually.
Yeah. I guess it wouldn't be legalese.
So the
Legalese
song
a
is
matter of speaking.
the song is called Section 1. It is from an upcoming album that is going to be released in October, I believe October the 11th.
Well, that's nice of them to give us a section of it.
Yep, the album is called The Last Will and Testament. And I'll give you a little bit of a background here. The Last Will and Testament is a concept album set in the post-World War I era that tells the story of a wealthy, conservative patriarch whose last will and testament reveals shocking family secrets. The narrative weaves through the patriarch's confessions, the reactions of his twin children, and the mysterious presence of a polio-ridden girl who the family have taken care of. There's some quotes here from Mr. Okerfeldt. This is the first record with Walt on drums. Seeing and hearing him record his bits was otherworldly, and what went through my head was something like, how can a human being play this stuff? The older cats, myself, Mendez, Fred, and Jacques, I guess, I don't know, did our bits in due time. We did them well, I like to think, and the alcohol concentration in our blood was mostly quite low as the red light was on. We're professionals, you see. There's some other... Yeah, so he talks about the record itself. I love this record, I have to say it. Maybe I'm proud even. There are some familiar ingredients in there, I suppose. Most of our music has sprung from the same source, so I guess that's not much of a shocker if it's going to sound like us. I'm a bit in awe of what we did with this album. It feels like a dream. There is some coherence and songwriting skills, I hope. But what do I know? I tend to favor the strange over the obvious, but I feel like I'm in the minority, and that's fine.
He certainly does.
Yes, he does.
The strange over the...
Yes, he does.
So they weren't drunk, is what he's saying.
Pretty much, yeah. They were not as drunk.
Not as drunk.
Yeah.
Right.
Ready to roll?
Sure.
All right, Opeth, Section 1. Ready to roll?
Proceed, counselor. Because it's like a legal thing. Do you see what I'm saying?
Or is it just counsel?
Proceed, counselor.
Here we go. right.
What do you think?
Man, I had to kind of have, in the last, since we've been making these videos, you know, coming up on a year now, and I think I've made it known that Opeth was never never a band that I went out of my way to listen to. I've made more of an effort since we've been making these videos, especially since we've done some Opeth stuff, because I've liked what I've heard. But I had to shift my approach to how I listen to it. Instead of trying to understand it
musically.
Yes, I just try to
meaning the actual parts.
What they're doing, what direction they're going. Yeah, the sections, the parts themselves.
Musically, not necessarily the lyrics.
Right. Musically, I had to take a step back and go, all right, let's take a new approach to this, because I can't. I mean, my untrained ear, my you know, I'm sure over the years of listening to certain styles of music, my ear has been molded to be attracted to certain things, I guess.
Oh, you're programmed.
Yeah, for sure. And I will be the first to tell you that this music, this structure, the way they put things together is way above my intellect.
That's just as a addendum.
But
that's not true.
I had to just sit back and go, let me just appreciate what they're doing, because you know he made reference to the new drummer, and the drummer's doing some amazing stuff that I can hear.
And the drummer's forward in the mix.
Yeah. I didn't read far enough along, but in that interview that I was talking about, that I was reading from, he even makes mention of fans getting it.
Or not, you mean?
Right. Like he says something along the lines of maybe you'll get it, and I think it's like air quotes and get it. You know, and I think that's the I don't know that people are either love or hate of Opeth. I'm sure there's probably some people in the middle, but I would assume that the majority of it is you either get it or you don't. Yeah. And I think that's what he was meaning.
Well, that's the most interesting music to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we know one person that gets it.
Yes, we do. Shout out to Bumblefly.
Shout out to the kingdom. No, I mean that's from a music snob point of view.
Sure.
As someone who thinks they know what good music is.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You think you know.
Yeah. But I know that from a technical sense, that song is, all of Opeth's music is that way.
It's crazy, yeah.
It's hard for me sometimes to think, and I know that there are ways to do it, but to think how to, you know, when they go to the quiet parts, the quiet part there was pretty easy. I think those were actually 3 different keyboards. I know the first one and the last one were. The one in the middle sounds like I was playing the flute,
right?
But I think it was probably. And then there's a clock going in the background.
Okay.
You heard the clock?
I have not picked up on the clock yet.
The clock was
I've listened to that song like 10 times.
And then it started ringing. So I'm assuming that.
That's what I mean.
So I'm assuming that the guy dies. I think maybe.
So lyrically, that's how I interpret it. I mean, it's.
Or the person dies.
Lyrically,
or his father.
I mean, the first draped in death. You know, I mean, that's the end is right here. Yeah. And the howl of lore, I think, howl of lore is he's spilling his guts on his deathbed.
Seems.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is the first section, and I would assume every section after this is a section.
I guess, I don't know. I haven't seen the full track listing, so.
I bet I would guess. I could be, what do I?
And there may be more to this song.
Because
the release of it, and they put it on YouTube and they put it on their streaming services. It, in parentheses, it says radio edit. So I'm assuming this is a 4-minute and 50-second song, but it's probably 8 minutes, or it could be 8 minutes, like a regular Opeth song, or your average Opeth song, I guess you'd say.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I don't know I haven't seen a full version of it.
Maybe it's part of the title. Anyway, so well, it seems like the lyrics are pretty straightforward. I would assume, because the name of the album is what again?
The Last Will and Testament.
Yeah. So I think that's one thing I really like about this band is that they do concept albums. They and I would look forward to hearing. Well, how do I say? I would be interested in hearing, because I think some of the themes that you hear in this first section are going to be repeated throughout the album. You know, the chorus part was so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the guitar work is really cool. I was a little bit surprised by how the drums, everything's really clean sounding, but it can be now. And they were panning his voice really cool.
Yeah.
And even with some of the music. But the drums were out in the mix, out forward, I think. The guitars were not as prominent. And it's funny how if you were to turn them up just a little bit, the guitars, and make them louder in the mix, how the whole feel of that song would change. It would be more, but it was more rhythmic. And maybe they just got so excited about this drummer that they were like, hey,
let's showcase him.
Yeah. But I noticed at one point that with the harsher vocals, he's guttural.
So that's, from what I read and from what I've seen, that's the first time in 16 years that he's done any harsh growls on an album.
Huh. I didn't mind it. I can understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
And but he's mixing it in with he's singing behind it. The chorus sounded sort of like Merciful Fate to me. That whole what I've heard from Merciful Fate. That was an oak tree.
The old oak.
I'm kidding. But I was going somewhere with that, and you made me forget it. Oh, no.
I made you forget.
Yeah, so that was the dope. So, but not really. So the drums being out in front and how he was singing. He was singing on the. I just noticed that a couple times where it seemed like they were matching that up on purpose. How he was using his syllabic utterances along with the drums. So I wasn't, because usually I'd have said, turn up the guitar a little more. But I was able to listen to this one, and you said it's a radio edit, so I feel like some of this is sort of a wash because I'd like to hear what the actual song is.
I mean, I assume it's the radio edit. That's what it says in the title on when they released it. But I think we get the full lyrics.
Thing.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's that instrumental part with the keys. Like I think it's probably an extended version of that or something.
Yeah, but the guitar solo that's one thing I liked about this song a lot was it just starts to happen.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
The weirdest spot.
Yeah, it's just like, here's this.
I don't say the weirdest spot is if you weren't expecting a guitar solo, but you all of a sudden were in one.
Yeah, before you even realized that it's happened.
Whoa, you know? I mean, it definitely wasn't a build up to where it's like a Guns N' Roses, you know? And he's just it. I thought that was so cool.
Okay.
I thought that was so cool. I liked this song. I think this song has been my favorite Opeth song so far, because because he still did the whole I say he, but he still does the whole and that's all very specific. Yeah. But then I love the fact that they go to the they go simple, and then he goes complex, and the drums. I was talking to me and my brother always used to talk about this. You could make an album, and you could have a terrible singer on it, and the guitar work could be shoddy, and you may not be able to hear the bass. But if the drummer is a madman, it's already halfway good, and already, I mean, I just. At first, I wanted to criticize the drums being too far ahead in the mix. Well, no, more so the stringed instruments not being as far forward. I guess there's a keyboard, and I know there's a keyboard in there too, but I need to go back and listen to it. But the guitars were just doing some really cool. it sounded like they would do some thrash metal stuff in there, and then whatever other kinds of metal there are that it exemplifies. But I don't know. It made me excited to want to hear, because I know they're going to do it. I know. I don't want to say I know how that guy's mind works, but I understand the initial thought of wanting to do something. I mean, this is, it's Dark Side of the Moon. It's the thing that begins and then has an ending as a whole.
Yeah.
So he's going to revisit some of this, especially if you're, he's going to revisit the idea of the death. I bet he goes back and he gets in the minds of the people that are sad that he's gone, or maybe people that are not, or people that are, if it has to do with the will itself, then people that are greedy and getting something, and people that don't care. Mm-hmm. Those are going to be your sweet songs, but I think there will be a shout back to, because I think he dies in this song.
Okay.
I think there's a period where, as you say, he's howling, he's dying, and then dies with the clock, with the, and then maybe he's traveling off.
Yeah.
And then I'll forget the second part of the song, but I think it's cool, man.
Okay.
I dug this. I can understand everything he's singing to a point, I mean, it's without knowing what he's saying. If I knew what he was saying, then obviously I wouldn't lose it so quick on a second listen. But I would listen to this again, and I would like to hear the album, because it just makes me interested.
Right. Well, October the 11th, 2024.
We don't know if we're even going to be here, bro.
That's a very good point. Very good point.
Who knows?
All right, cool. I'm glad you liked it. We'll wait on the next single to come out.
All right, then.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
We're moving out.
We are Great Measures.
Great Measures.
Speaking of concepts and callbacks. My name is Richard. This is Judson. Have a wonderful day, everybody.